The public's right to information is in jeopardy. We, the people, have the right to know how our government leaders and agencies spend our tax dollars. But not everyone is forthcoming with that information. It is a challenge First Alert 4 Investigates has been fighting now for years, and now we are doing something about it. What is being hidden? It's a new series led by our investigator, Susan El-Khoury.
It comes down to transparency and accountability in our government. That's why we have laws safeguarding public meetings and information. But when something like a record is withheld, it can lead to conversations and deals happening behind closed doors, keeping you, the public, shut out.
Shooting, active shooter at the school.
It's a day many in St. Louis will never forget.
South King College.
October 24th, 2022. A 19-year-old former student shot his way into the shared South City campus of Central Visual and Performing Arts High School and the Collegiate School of Medicine and Bioscience. 15-year-old student Alexandria Bell and health and PE teacher Jean Kuchka died.
Shot the lock out of the door and then came into the room. She had a bunch of students behind her.
More than a year later, the St. Louis Metropolitan Police Department won't release any body camera or surveillance video. They also put out a timeline missing key points, including when the shooter got to the school. Why? They claim their investigative report isn't finished. We asked St. Louis Police Chief Robert Tracy what's taking so long. Why do you think it's a good idea to continue to keep the public in the dark?
You know, you come into different states, different rules, different litigation of what we need to do. I could take a look at that.
When we didn't hear back, we caught up with the chief at one of his town halls.
There's really nothing to hide. You know, like, we don't hide anything. We're transparent, but we want to make sure that investigation's done thoroughly.
In a year, do you think it's too long? Should we be doing it faster?
Well, we'll get this out, and then anybody that's calling up, we talk to all the schools.
Still, months later, nothing's been released, leaving the question, what's being hidden from the public eye? In another case raising concerns of what's being hidden, jail recordings capture Courtney McNeil's last phone call to his family.
Tell my babies I love them, I'm sorry.
On September 6, 2022, he walked into a holding cell at the St. Louis Justice Center. 3 minutes later, he's dragged out limp and barely moving. Within an hour, the 41-year-old dad died. The jail's explanation of what happened to McNeil was simply found unresponsive. First Alert 4 Investigates spent months trying to get video and related public records from the jail. This was the result. Instead, we have a paper trail showing month after month the Justice Center kept delaying releasing anything. And the records that we did get, they aren't complete. There are entire pages the city doesn't want you to see. We keep asking for that information to be released. McNeil is one of 11 people who died at the jail in less than 2 years. First Alert 4 Investigates found the jail wasn't reporting all of those deaths to the state, breaking a federal requirement. So what's being hidden?
It's absolutely imperative that we ensure accountability, that there's transparency, that the public knows what the government is doing.
In another case raising the question, what's being hidden? In Missouri, the Attorney General has the power to enforce our open records law called the Sunshine Law. Andrew Bailey's website calls it the embodiment of Missouri's commitment to openness in government. But First Alert 4 Investigates found his office hasn't been fast about turning out public information. Last January, First Alert 4 asked for records relating to complaints about a contractor accused of taking tens of thousands of dollars from customers and never finishing the job. Months later, the AG's office sent this letter saying records may be available March 25th, 2024. So we went to the AG.
This is a sunshine request we put in
to ask why the delay.
Is that something that your office is looking at?
It's something we're looking at. We're always looking to improve processes, and the March 2024 date is the latest date upon which we can get you the records. It's entirely possible you'll get them long before then.
Do you believe your office is fulfilling sunshine requests in a timely manner?
Yeah, absolutely. We've closed hundreds of sunshine requests.
The AG claims he inherited a backlog of nearly 300 record requests from the former AG, Eric Schmidt.
The Missouri Attorney General's office is fulfilling the sunshine requests in the order in which they're received so that we're not called to the carpet for picking winners and losers.
But taking more than a year to release public information, is that transparency or what's being hidden?
And the Attorney General mentioned we might get those records earlier. We are still waiting. We haven't received anything. And
Susan, overall, this is a very important initiative. Why start this now?
Well, all three of those cases we just showed you are examples of why public information is so important and some of the challenges to transparency that we face. And all of these things, as journalists, we deal with this every day. So we want to start to pull back the curtain and show our process, but also for viewers to understand as we're trying to get this information, this is what we're up against.
And us as a news agency, you as an investigative reporter, you spend a lot of time making these requests, trying to get these records. But I mean, the truth of the matter is that anyone in the public should be able to access these records.
Yeah, and that's the essence of why we have this. It's public information. Part of it, too, we want to know and hear from you if you believe you've had a challenge or you were wrongly denied a public record. That's something that we want to look into and maybe even feature as part of the series.
Absolutely, Susan. We know you'll do a lot of good work with that. Thank you very much. And an important issue that we're going to continue to show. And you can find this series on our website. And be sure to send any challenges that you are facing about this issue to firstalert4.com/hidden.